Good morning, Trenton. It's Monday morning with Freedom on www.Trentonian.com. We're hoping you're tuning in. We're going to be dealing with relative issues, real people doing real things. As always, we say in the capital city to make it better, not bitter. Want to open up. We have a great cast of guests this morning, people who are touching it from all different avenues in the city, so we definitely want to get right to it. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Want to introduce yourself to the listeners?
Listeners, how you doing? My name is Christian Martin. I'm the new executive director of the Trenton Downtown Association, which is the nonprofit organization that runs the Special Improvement District in downtown Trenton.
Okay.
We have a number of programs, including street fairs, Wednesdays on Warren,
Nice.
Capital City Market.
Nice.
We operate the art gallery and studio space on Hanover Street.
Okay.
Studios 219. There's a great show there going on right now.
Okay.
Will Casso and some other artists have put together a nice collection down there, so check that out. We also run a variety of programs to help businesses downtown.
Nice.
To help retain them and expand their businesses. So that's an overview.
Okay. Well, we can really get into the specifics of it. The downtown area, you're just coming aboard.
Yes, about a month ago.
Okay, the downtown area for the last 15 years has been dead. It's a ghost town. No life. No real business, no real viable entities. What are you looking to do? What is your vision to begin to bring back some life to something that's needed?
That's a good question. Well, my vision entails bringing more residential spaces to the downtown.
Okay.
Cleaning up some of the upstairs property above some of our commercial spaces.
Okay.
That we can hopefully get some young people in.
Okay.
Creating a cooler, kind of more vibrant, urban, downtown vibe that's not there right now, as you said.
Okay.
And that's going to take a number of things. It's going to take cleaning up some tough areas that we have.
We'll talk about that.
Stationary population.
Okay.
It's not really helping the commerce.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take attracting new businesses.
I agree.
That are going to be open after hours,
right,
on weekends.
Okay.
And it's going to take some work, but I think we can do it.
Okay. There was a couple things I want to touch on. When I first started going downtown years ago, there was the Mayfair, which was the movie theaters. It's probably before your time, just getting here. McDonald's. There was actually, I think, a Geno's down there as well. There were major corporations where there were opportunities for not only revenue to come in, jobs, but like you were saying, traffic to come through. And on the weekend, a movie theater, things of that nature would give opportunities for people to actually have a reason to come to the downtown area. What are you looking to do to attract or bring back major corporations like that?
Well, I think we have to do a lot with regard to public safety.
Okay.
And the perception that Trenton is dangerous.
Okay.
And dirty. And there might be a kernel of truth there, but we still need to kind of address the perception.
Right.
And I mean, there are some properties that we can kind of look at as critical to attracting that type of entertainment venue.
Right.
And work with the city council, the state, in order to kind of clear the way for the development and investment to come in. Right. And so it's going to take kind of a holistic approach. But, we're going to have to target, what do we want? And that's going to involve, talking to citizens, stakeholders, business owners, and developing, kind of a consensus of what type of entertainment venue, what type of, we need a skate rink, bowling alley, movie theater. What do we need? Right. And then going about finding the investors to make it happen.
Okay. Okay. In one of the other avenues I was looking at, you spoke to it a little bit. Just so we're clear, and I talked to you a little bit down City Council about this. One of the main detractors downtown, whether we're looking to keep state workers to stay here and stop going to PA for lunch, whether we're trying to bring people just to come in and do lunch downtown, it's the crime. It's the negative stigma. It's real because there certainly are some issues the moment you drive downtown. There's the open panhandling. And I'm not putting this on you, but just something I want you to be clearly aware of in terms of the moment you arrive downtown. there's people out there selling this and that. There's people panhandling. There's people doing a number of things that are clearly detractors. I mean, the open drug trade, the things that are going on. What are you looking to do, or what's needed? Because I know they're tuning in, the mayor, the council, one of them is here. In terms of public safety, which is a critical issue, people won't come to an area they don't feel safe in. What are we going to do to remove those detractors so that you can put your vision in place and begin to rebuild the downtown?
Well, I think relationships are key. I've reached out to the new police director.
Okay.
So that we have a open dialogue. We have one of our merchants owns a newsstand on Broad, and I've encouraged him to call me personally.
Okay.
When the panhandler comes and starts selling cigarettes in front of his so I can come by and see who it is.
Okay.
What I can do if I can. Excuse me. Can you move it along? And I know I'm a citizen, and they might may not respond to that.
Right.
But, I'll try.
Okay.
I'll try that to start, and then reach out to the law enforcement entities.
Okay.
As needed.
It's important. It's very important.
But I think that's a place to start. I'm not sure how far that's going to go.
Okay. We as citizens, and I agree with you, we have to do more and be vigilant in that, because a lot of the people that I see are normal citizens. You know what I mean? And I say to a lot of them anyway, if I'm sitting in that kind of position, I'm saying to you, I don't care, you go around the corner and go up 3 blocks, but you got to get off the front line. If we're ever going to envision having a viable downtown area where you can have maybe an Old Navy, where you can have a Chuck E. Cheese, where you can have a movie theater, where people will come in and feel comfortable being safe in that area, then you guys are going to have to play your part and get out from down here, because you're holding us back. Exactly. Nobody's coming anywhere they don't feel safe. Nobody's coming anywhere where they don't feel like their family's safe. And we have to do our part as citizens, not to point fingers, but to be a part of the solution. That's one of the main reasons I wanted to bring you on. Second, we'll go to 2 more points and we'll get you out of here. The college, Mercer County College, is doing a lot of, they're doing a lot of rebuilding. They're going to be taking over, I think, an extension of across the street. What are you guys looking to tie into? Because that's a major entity and an attracting factor, especially now with the river line and people having access to Trenton. And we're in a geographical position where we sit in between Philly and New York. So we need to start capitalizing on actually being the capital. I say to people all the time, I think the only people who don't know where the capital is us. So we need to really wake up. What are you going to be doing to work with the college to make that a more creative and more enticing and inviting venue for people to come to?
Sure. What you said is absolutely true. The Mercer County Community College expansion is the most exciting development going on downtown.
That's right.
And the TDA is certainly going to be working with them to help just facilitate that expansion.
Okay.
Cleaning up, we operate the Clean and Safe program already.
Okay.
That covers their area. So we're going to make sure that area continues to be spotless and safe for the students coming in.
Okay.
We're going to try to rationalize the parking situation around there, because that's a major issue downtown, not just for the Mercer folks, but for everybody else. The businesses across the street are going to be impacted by that expansion, so we don't want to drive them out of business. That helps nobody as well. And working with the administration to make sure the students and the new programs that they have there are safe, secure, engaged with the rest of the city. And hopefully they'll kind of generate more economic activity on that area. And that block between State and Hanover,
that's major,
is important. Broad Street is what I'm talking about. And sort of cleaning up that block is a major priority of TDA, and it should be of the city council. And the city as well.
I agree. Last point before we get you out of here. One of the main problems I've found, and because of my work in politics, I just talk to a lot of people in terms of social development. Local businesses don't feel as though they have a vested interest in Trenton, in the Trenton downtown area, in the stores that they exist in and sit in the area that's TDA in the downtown area. Many local businesses feel as though they haven't been asked or aren't being asked, and you pointed that out when you first started talking, so I was excited about that. What are you doing to reach out and get input from the people whose businesses are already in play here so that they can be a part of the vision. Because I don't think anything is worse than people sitting in an area. They're paying a high price to be in that area, but their input is not asked or applied to the equation, which is good business, good venue, because it helps you.
Right.
You know, if somebody's sitting and I'm sitting, that's why I brought you on. I wanted you to have a chance to get yourself out there, get your vision out there, and then we know what you're giving us an assignment as citizens to get involved. What are you doing to get the local businesses' vision in place so it can help in line with your vision?
Well, this is one of the benefits of being somewhat of an outsider.
Okay.
And I've been a resident of Trenton since '04.
Okay.
I moved away, Jersey City, LA.
Okay.
For a little while. So coming back, and with my role at the TDA, has been important to reach out to the business owners and the merchants and see what the issues are.
Okay.
Because I don't have I'm not psychic. I don't know what the issues are for on block to block, and they're different.
They are
from area to area. So that's been important to me to introduce myself and then get input from the merchants to see what I can do, if anything, to help. Because nobody has a monopoly on brains or good ideas.
I agree.
And it's going to take a collaboration and bringing everybody to the table, all the stakeholders downtown. Okay. And that's been a priority of mine. So systematically, I'm working my way through the district. Okay. Talking to business owners of all kinds. Okay. Private citizens, people just on the street, just trying to figure out what ideas are out there and how can we kind of pick the best of the ideas and kind of build coalitions around those ideas and get things done. Okay.
So, well, I want to thank you for coming on, bro. You laid out a lot of good information there. Is there some contact information so people can get a hold of you?
Sure, absolutely. You can visit us on the web at trenton-downtown.com. It's under construction right now, so bear with us.
Like Trenton.
Exactly. DestinationTrenton.com is our destination marketing website. So we market sites in downtown and also Greater Trenton. Okay. Historical, cultural, entertainment venues of significance. Okay. And you can also check us out on Facebook and Twitter. All right. So, all right. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for coming on, bro. We'll definitely talk again and we'll get an update. Yes, down the road a little bit. Yes, I'll be calling your phone. All right. Thanks a lot now.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to bring on our second guest, Miss Verlina Reynolds-Jackson, the East Ward Councilwoman. She came in here fired up, notebook attached, talking about where's the coffee, the Danish, and all that kind of stuff. So we're just going to get right into it. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
You all right? All right. So for the people who don't know you, introduce yourself.
Good morning. I'm Verlina Reynolds-Jackson, the first African-American female woman to sit in the seat of Trenton City Council for the East Ward.
All right. So the East Ward. Yes. Tell us something special about the East Ward and why you decided to run in the ward. Talk to them.
It's I've learned that I didn't decide. I was chosen to do this by something higher than I am. And so, this the East is special, is beautiful, is historic. Okay. It has a lot of the Wilbur section, Chambersburg, Villa Park. Our community has changed. Right. We have a huge Spanish population, Haitian population, Caribbean population. All of those people now make up the East Ward. Okay. So it's important to me that I reach out to all of those organizations. Okay. We had a little brief conversation earlier this morning about reaching out. My schedule is jam-packed. Right. It is. It's packed from the beginning of the month to the end of the month. Okay. And, you want to be able to get out there and meet people and hear their issues and concerns. And I promise you, I do the best that I can do. There's some people that meet on a regular monthly basis. Right. I might not be able to make your meeting this month because I want to go visit somebody else at their meeting and get that information. Okay. And I think the other myth is that everybody communicates with us. No. It's not true. Right. We don't. Right. But I'm one person, and I try to do the best I can. If anything, I think residential concerns and issues is number one in what I do, which is not tangible. But if you call me, I did learn very early on, don't make promises that you're going to get something done that's not realistic to what you think is realistic. Right. Because what I think is realistic 30 days, your realistic is in a week. And it's been like this for 2, 3, 5, 10 years. Right. So I learned that early on. But you know what? At the end of the day, as long as it gets done, that's the goal, that's the mission, and that's what I want to see.
Okay. And you definitely do that. I'm in council almost every meeting, and you're very receptive to citizens, their concerns. You definitely give out your personal cell phone number. You make yourself accessible. Let's get right to the gist of it. On council. Okay. There's like an internal war. I've had Marge on, I've had Zach on, and it's almost to the point now we're on council, there's teams. And we really want to just let you give your speech or spiel on that in terms of when the vote comes down, there's a team going this way and a team going that way.
Well, let me tell you, let's just start with this. I am an educated, intelligent woman that can make decisions on my own. Okay. At the end of the day, if it's good legislation, then I will support it. If it's bad legislation, then I won't. Okay. And we have mixed issues on that. Okay. And, you know, I'm not perfect. Right. And neither is the council. We've made some mistakes. Mm-hmm. The mayor has made some mistakes. That is the bottom line we have. Okay. And I accept that. All right. But what do you learn from that mistake? Okay. And I think that's where I begin to move forward in understanding what my role is and how to communicate that to the people. Okay. And it's critical that we get out there and we talk about it. You know, I make it to the Chambersburg Association, to the Euclid Avenue Association, to the Trent Center Tower East and West Association. You know, you have your Chambersburg, you have TCCA, you have all these different places that, you know, I need to be. Right. And I need to be able to explain to them, this is why I made this decision. Okay. But I'm going to these meetings, getting their input. And at the end of the day, this is why you elected me. You elected me to represent your voice. Okay. Now, as I said, I'm almost perfect. Right. I've made some bad decisions, but I've learned from them and I'm moving on. Okay. So to focus in what council's role is and our social implications and the social impact that we have on our community is something that is not written down on a piece of paper. It's not in the Faulkner Act. Right. You know. And those are the serious issues that are plaguing our community right now. Okay. You know, we have a high crime that's going on. And I feel like we're kind of behind because when everybody else was taking that fire and police hit, you know, the mayor was able to save those jobs for a year. Okay. Now we're in a situation where we've lost all of those police officers. Yep. And we're seeing those social problems, the crime levels, the drugs, the gangs, the murders. We've seen an increase in all of those things, but it's not like we didn't have them before. But now how are we strategically trying to handle this? Okay. This new police director, I talked to him. We had a murder in the section. I talked to him about it. There's some confidential things we couldn't disclose, but he gave me some key things that I could share with the community, and that's the important part. Mm-hmm. You know, there was no miscommunication. I got a phone call back. I even got an email, and that's the type of that's the type of dialogue that we want to have. I mean, you know, even the BA. I've sat down. I've talked with him about the issues. They both are willing to go to the community to see what is it. You know, Mr. Hutchinson is from Trenton, but it's changed over the years. Yes, it has. They are interested in going and seeing and trying to find out how do we strategically try to do this. I call them the BIGs. That's the big bright idea people, guys and girls. And you come up with these. Oh, I'm going to reduce crime. Well, what that mean? Right. You know, I try to, we have a public safety meeting over at the police station on Greenwood Avenue. Okay. You know, we tried to keep that open so that we could have our community meetings there. Okay. We have Crime Stoppers that came in. We had the prosecutors. We had police officers. Just trying to give information to our citizens for them to be able to say, I reported this. You know, we have anonymous tip lines, and they may not feel comfortable in giving out this information because remember, at the end of the day, this is somebody's child. Right. This is somebody's kid. Right. And nephew, grandson, you know, friend. Right. You know, so how do you protect yourself, because grandma, I'm living real scared up in the house now.
You're right.
And still be able to say, but I need help. I can't live like this no more.
Right.
It's serious. And so we're coming up with different tools to help everybody in community and get it out there. Grandma got texts, but she might not know how to send a text. We have to work through that process. We have to be able to, step by step, or give me a call.
Right.
I got some connections.
Okay. Okay.
Access is what people want. And, again, I think that's the number one thing that I can say I've done so well, is that I've reached back out and I talk to folks.
Okay.
And I try to hear what their concerns are. I know we had some people that wanted to move a bus stop one time. It was a nuisance to them. Lady said, waking me up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
There's some things that we have to be able to work out, that what can we do and what can't we do?
Okay.
And then if not, let's be able to walk down that step together.
Right,
so it's critical that we continue to keep those lines of communication open. And that's how I function.
Okay.
We can respectfully disagree.
It's going to be a lot of that.
But at the end of the day, I'm not here to be your friend.
Okay.
I'm not taking no new applications.
Okay.
I'm here to get a job done.
All right.
All right. So let's be clear about that.
Okay, I like that. The other piece would be, there's clearly a disconnect between council and the mayor. And I'm not going to strong arm and say what he's doing or what she's doing or what they're doing. The mayor has at times his own agenda. And it may be whatever it is. What are we doing to allow citizens to see that we're all still working for the same goal, which is a better quality of life in the city of Trenton? Just your personal take on what you're striving to do to get council and mayor on the same page.
I try to keep the goal in mind.
Okay.
What is the goal and how can we get there?
Okay.
It's not, for me, it's not about personal agendas or personal attitudes and I don't like you, I don't like why you did that, because we can't function that way. The mayor has made some bad decisions. Council has made some bad decisions. But how does that going to stop us from the next murder on the corner? That's it's irrelevant.
Right.
So I'm not into the feelings. I'm into strategic planning. I'm into redevelopment, into getting these abandoned houses off, into, partnering with the prosecutors, the state police, and, communities, with our school system. But again, I'm not trying to come up with no BIGs. It's not about the bright ideas. It's about how you going to do that.
Right,
how you going to do it.
A plan.
It's a plan.
Right.
It's a plan. And it's, we have some critical things, we're trying to open up the libraries. I've heard some bad things about that already. And,
right.
I'm like, okay, so can we be proactive about this?
Right.
Like, so is it, and instead of putting out the bad, let's look at the good, because I can make a list of all the bad things, but how can we strategically plan to improve our schools, get more parental involvement? And you heard of the Boyd program. Excellent. It should be a model. It should be a model for how we do things to get more parental involvement and encouraging our kids. Because when they in kindergarten, first, second, third grade, oh, we love them. Oh, they cute, they cuddly. We want to walk them to school, walk them back to school. But then you get to that middle grade or high school, it's a whole nother ball game. And our children are going through different things now than they did then.
Okay.
And it affects us all. And it's about trying to understand those things.
Okay.
So it's a lot.
It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress.
Okay. We're gonna stay on your heels about it.
Keep it up.
Show you that.
Keep it there. I ain't
scared. All right, let's talk about the one of the things you and I were discussing before, was discussed in council as well, the new McDonald's that's going to be coming.
Well,
go ahead now.
I'm going to have to cut it short on that one.
Okay.
I'm going to leave that as an open invite, though, for me to come back to the next time.
Okay.
Or possibly you come to my show, as I've been offered earlier.
Okay.
So, but I'm going to leave that because we're still under some things, and I don't want to taint the process.
Okay.
And I'm sure you heard that word before, and,
yeah.
I don't want to do that.
Right. Okay.
So
okay. We'll leave that one alone. It's still a work in progress as well. Okay. Because I was getting ready to go in.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about something you mentioned a little earlier, the abandoned property, something you're looking to work with that. You sat up, you got excited. Let's go. Okay.
Because, again, it's part of that BIG. We talk about it, but how do you actually get rid of the abandoned properties? And I went to a great conference. It was with the Thomas Edison Watson Institute, sponsored with the African American Chambers of Commerce.
Okay.
And it was at the War Memorial.
All right.
It was a one-day session, but I met Diana Sterner from the New Jersey Housing Community Development Network of New Jersey.
That's a lot of letters.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But what happens is, when we went there, they gave this wonderful presentation on how they're working with Jersey City with their abandoned housing list. Now, we have two. We got one from TCCA, and we got one that the city did. So I'm sure some of the numbers and addresses are the same. But, you know, we've had this list for years. What you going to do with it?
Right. So
now this is where we're at. We're at trying to create a task force and to change development mind thoughts. We, the city, want to tell you where you're going to go develop. It's not necessarily developers going to come in and tell us where we want to go.
Right.
No, because that's how we got the train station. You know, that area over there, part of the section that has been underutilized. That could have been done.
Right.
But because we tried to let people pick and choose where they want to come in, it becomes a problem. So part of this strategic plan is setting up this task force along with the administration to find out what we're going to do now with this list and how we're going to start pocketing different areas that need this. And also, it costs dollars. Once you have this abandoned house, you know, what are you going to do with it? You're going to tear it down. You're going to make it look like grass. You're going to put in a store, a business, you know, residential, commercial. What is it supposed to look like? So it's about that type of plan. And this is where the administration and their master plan, which is outdated right now and we're waiting on to be updated, comes into play, because long term is where you begin this process. But again, this is my BIG, because this is my bright idea. But it takes time.
It does.
It takes time to do these things. And so now we're working on that process. Something else you talked about earlier was relationship with businesses. Another thing is, how do we get purchasing in our local businesses on the same page? You know, we put out RFPs all the time, but what I'm working on now is trying to come up with a way for the city to push send. Let's create that master list of what businesses look like in the city, or whoever else wants to be on it. RFP goes up, push send it out. You know, it doesn't mean that you stop your legal obligation of posting it and putting it in the newspaper. But this is just another way to try to get it out, to find out how we can do this, you know. These are, you know, it's critical.
What is that?
That's one of the that's over there by the
Mannix building.
Rogan Marking is on the other side of that, and this is that big warehouse across the street.
What are we doing with that?
Well, that's part. I don't know. What are we going to do with it? What are we going to do with it? You're going to tear it down? You're going to build something else? Now, there's a nice shopping center right across the street. Oh, the other thing critical is to know about these buildings is hopefully that all the electricity, water, and power is cut off. Because you have somebody that break in, guess what? City gets sued. Although the building's been unoccupied. And, you know, the city is the worst culprit of large number of city-owned properties.
It is.
We are. So what is that? That's what, you know, the directors come in, and these are the experts in the field. You know, this is something where you can come in and we can all work together on getting rid of some of those things. You know, it has to be a strategic plan. It's just not where we are right now. It's an emergency. We got to tear this building down. You know, but that's all the ones that we're doing. What happens after that? I heard Al Sharpton say once, you know, let's play chess and not checkers.
No, we need to.
And so that's what, you know, we want to do. This is where we are now. And it's just, it's critical to say you want to do it, to make this plan up to do it. Implementation is something totally different. So you have to go through those stages before you can, you know, get things done.
I think a large part of what people fall back in the city on is the execution of it. One, having a plan, and then the execution of that plan, like the building we just saw on there. There has to be an inclusion of local contractors involved in everything we do. I know the RFPs and everything has to go out for bidding. But at what point do we as a mayor and a council and citizens demand that everything that goes on in this city be directly used by citizens of this city? There can't be a project. There can't be, like I just went down Spring Street. Perry Street. And something as simple as putting in curbs. Why are we always doing, and we'll get you out of here on this one, why are we always doing projects? Why are we doing things in the city and there's never Trentonians doing the work of the city?
I think that's a good part of what the African American Chamber of Commerce, and there's also a Latin one as well, but they have these entities that help you take your business from where you are and grow them. A lot of times we are stuck in a place where we're not able to bond, or the rules are so high that you're not able to get on that project. But how about if you, Demetria, and Christian all put your businesses together, and we all could put our capital together, and now we got a new company and we're able to do this. But it's it's strategically how you do that. A lot of us don't know. But there are, if you've seen the example of the Meadowlands, their new project for their downtown area, it's huge, you know, but this was a plan that had started, they developed it, and this is the end result of it. So it's about planning to do this. You can't just say, oh, and I'm sure Christian is doing this. Oh, we want to bring in new business. Well, what is that new business? What is our market? What is our niche? What is going to attract people? Because you're not bringing a Starbucks downtown if your population isn't buying $4 or $5 coffees.
No,
I want a 99-cent deal. You know, it doesn't work. You know, and then you give these, you know, another thing I think we should do is put a moratorium on all these nonprofits. I love nonprofits, but at the end of the day, we need tax revenue. We need money to come into the city to do things that we need to do. You know, how many buildings in which we're working on now, how many buildings that the city owns that's nonprofit, that we're paying PSC&G, we're paying water, and the profit, the agency is there doing business. You know, do you got a solar tower on top of your building now? You know, because now you didn't change your status, and we should be collecting some revenue from that. So it's different things that you have to look at strategically, but we have so many. We have so many. This is just two, and they got multi-layers to them, you know, that go in a little bit deeper. But you know, we're one council, one mayor, and at the end of the day, I want us to be able to work together, and respectfully disagree and move on to the next topic that we can work on. But it's work. It's hard work. It's not. Again, you know, I'm here for a bigger purpose than myself, and you know, I enjoy what I do, and I'm gonna keep on doing it.
Okay, closing it out. What are some of the goals you'd like to see happen with the next few months going into the summertime and just over the next year or so with the city in regards to violence, maybe education, certainly some critical issues that need to be addressed by a mayor and a council and the citizenship being on the same page? What would you like to see happen in terms of the craziness that's going on in the street, certainly the economic development that could potentially happen with the TDA, and just citizens getting on the same page, working the city instead of the muck and craziness we have right now?
Well, I think there's three things. One, most importantly, is the public safety issue. Critical. I think that along with our community being able to have access to their elected officials to be able to help guide them through the process. And then three is probably this abandoned properties issue that I'm working on and have been for, you know, since I've been elected. It just takes time to do that, you know, and resources and pulling people in. You know, I work with the League of Municipalities on this. I'm working with with Diana Sterner over there, working with our other council colleagues, our law department, and our economic development department. So we have a lot of different people. We have other redevelopment firms out there, other construction companies that want to be able to do this. So we want them to come on board and be a part of the task force. So this is the next step that we're trying to do, is one, to get the mayor to say it's okay that we can do this, and develop the task force, and then we can move to an ordinance to be able to help identify and even shame some of these landlords into getting these properties up to par. And if you don't want them, get rid of them. You know, not that I want the city to take any more, but you know, we need to maybe develop a plan where we can say, here's a block of apartment, a block of buildings that we are looking to redevelop in this area, and say, okay, task force, go out there and search for a developer. Let's try locally. Let's see who's ready, who can do what. But I think also you have to look at the legalities, because you can't say we just want to do it this way. So this comes to another ordinance that we're working on, is a local hiring ordinance. You know, New York does it. We have some places in California that does it, but we're trying to structure it where it depends on the dollar amount, and it's a lot of technical things that go into it. But, you know, I think even if we had a good faith one, to say we want you to do 25% local hiring. I think that's even something that's some companies have been willing to do. So I think that those, and I guess that was 4. So those are some important things that, we're going to be working on for the next year. And for future people to be able to work on as well. And that will have a significant positive impact in the city.
I agree. Okay, you want to give some contact information before we get you out of here?
Sure. My email address is Verlina Ray, R-E-Y, my first name, Verlina, V as in Victoria, E-R-L-I-N-A-R-E-Y @gmail.com. Also, a lot of this information I gave you about the community involvement is on the city's website. It's on my page. Check it out. It's TrentonNJ.org. And my phone number, 609-310-1438.
All right. I want to thank Ms. Verlina Reynolds-Jackson for coming on, the East Ward Councilwoman. She's just one piece of the puzzle, trying to make things a little bit better here by working with the citizens and the rest of the council and the mayor to move Trenton in a better direction. I want to thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you for
having
having
me. Have a great day, baby.
You too.
All right. Got 2 out the way. We're going to bring on the last one. Come in here with the chaos. See, she said she's a little tired, y'all, but we're going to get amped up off this one right here. Good morning.
Good morning. Great morning.
You all right?
Sir.
All right, don't start now.
Hyped up on vitamins and exhaustion.
All right. So introduce yourself to the listeners.
Good morning, everybody. I am Demetria Mason-Rogers, City of Trenton resident, lifelong, and a mother.
That's it.
And I decided to use my social influence to get my message out there to the city.
Okay.
I believe that parenting is about reinforcement.
Nice.
And 50% of embryos are lost. Fertilized eggs, they're gone. If you're blessed to carry a child into this world, parent that child so that somebody doesn't have to bury their child.
I like that. That was a pretty strong way to come out the gate. You got scientific and a little spiritual there. I can see already where this one's going. All right. You got known in Trenton for a lot of things, but one of the good things I will say that you and I have always been aligned on is the violence. And you began doing some marches in the community, getting people educated and involved and off the sidelines, dealing with the tragic losses of our young people, but just violence in general. Talk about what drove you or what actually pulled you into stepping out to the forefront, organizing a lot of violence marches, and getting people educated on that specific issue, which right now is still critical in our city.
Oh, absolutely. It really was an act of empathy. I acted at one spare of the moment situation, standing on my balcony looking at 2 of my friends laying on the pavement.
Wow.
And at that moment, I decided to use the Alfred Bandura theory, which is observe their behavior. Look at everything around us. Trenton is falling apart.
It is.
And if you know that there aren't any programs, why are you dedicating your time? Why are the mothers dedicating their time more to a man standing in front of a corner store than to your child? And I believe that since I worked for the city of Trenton, since I do have this social influence, it was very easy for me to reach out to people like yourself. Reach out to administrators, reach out to my administrators in the Department of Corrections and my friends that I party and hang out with. And ask them, listen, collectively, can we come together to weaken the aggression? And so far, that has worked. And I believe, and I know for sure that we are beyond stopping the violence. And I talk to mothers, I talk to men hanging out on the street. When we have the every 3rd Sunday of the month, the Anti-Violence Coalition.
With Divine.
That with Divine Allah and the Black Panthers. I go out and my take on it is, what information do you need? What can I give you about housing? What can I give you about income, looking for a job? A lot of it comes from lack of information, lack of education, whatever the manner. You can't go on with saying that this is a generational thing. That's true. And when we were just in the projects and you were there for that, I walked through and I did see generations, the grandmother, the mother, and the child all using drugs. They all were, it was an obvious thing in their appearance, but they welcomed me and they talked to me and I appreciated that. And very clearly, I don't try and act like I'm better than anybody. I'm just saying that I have a child out here, and I want him to be able to raise his children here in Trenton.
Right.
Trenton was something to be proud of, and it isn't any longer.
Right.
I have no desire to move out,
right.
but I'm not enjoying living here.
Okay, good point. Good point. So I guess another area we're working on, and something I really I love working with you on, is the educational system and process itself. One of the things we constantly talk about, and you use yourself in this example of why it can move in a successful direction, is the disconnect between the parents and the school system. We were talking earlier about classifications and the benefits of that. You're very informed, but a lot of people don't know about that. Talk about the school system, the disconnect, classifications, being classified before, some of the things you were talking to me about that, because that's, again, pertinent information.
My son in first grade was at Joseph Stokes Elementary School.
All right.
He took a spelling test, and all the words were written sideways, upside down, backwards, spelled correctly, but the writing was just flat out jacked up. And the teacher gave him an A. And I was never technically classified with having a learning disability.
Okay.
But I was aware that there was one. Okay. And my mother being a teen mother, and my grandmother feeling that, listen, here's the silver spoon, she has everything she needs, and I had the best of an education, that was enough for her.
Okay.
But recognizing it in myself, I went forth and asked for information with my son.
Okay.
And I found out about an IEP evaluation. And he was never specifically classified with a learning disability, but they wanted to place him in special education.
Okay.
And I was upset that the teacher had just continuously passed him on tests and such. And with that, I asked more questions, and I find that a lot of parents don't take the initiative to actually go to the school and find out for themselves. They wake up in the morning and they push them out the door so that they can lay up with their boyfriends. This is just my experience and some of my friendships.
Okay.
And do the things that they want to do. You're just sending your child out there, and it's about positive reinforcement.
Right.
You can't ask them to do better. You can't whoop them for not doing well if you're not setting the example at home of being a parent and you're spending more time doing your own little social things than sitting down with your child.
I agree.
I found out about the IEP evaluation. You have the right as a parent to be there. You should be there. Your child will be evaluated by a psychologist and doctors of other sorts. You're leaving your child's life because that stigma sticks with them, just like being classified with a mental illness.
Okay.
Once a doctor gets a report saying that a child has this illness, if you're not up on it, that'll be there. It'll always be there.
Right.
And when they tried to stick my son into special education, I stayed on it. I would go to the school during the day, looking up on my lunch break, because I'm a working mom, sometimes 2 jobs, and look in the window and see what the teacher was teaching my son so that I can come home and reinforce that, teach them that way, because not every person learns the same way.
Right.
But when we found out that my son didn't really have a classified learning disability, I did not allow the state or the Trenton school system to declassify him, because now I get $3,600 a semester from the Division of Rehabilitational, help me here, from DVR, State of New Jersey DVR.
Okay.
And that's per semester. So since you classify him as that,
use it.
He was not allowed to be declassified.
Okay.
Make sure you sign those records. Make sure you talk to the teachers. Most teachers have email addresses.
Right.
It really gave my son a setback, because he had to go to public schools before he could go to private schools.
Okay.
But being that I was that parent, I partied and had the same hardships that most did.
Right.
This is not just an economic or racial situation. It's happening everywhere.
It's real.
But being that happened, I stayed on my son, and he was accepted into college early. He went to DeVry early. I made him play sports. I took him to plays. We did a lot of things together. I understand that people have multiple children in their homes, but you brought these children into this world.
No doubt.
And be concerned about them in school so that they're not being slammed on the pavement for killing somebody else's child.
Right. No,
that's just the bottom line to it. I mean, that right now, that's what I'm focusing on. I focus on it in my church. I speak to people in my church. I've had my pastor come out to the prayer visuals. I mean, I know that my take on it may not be everybody's.
No. But you're actually doing something. What I always like to work on, Joey and I keep talking about changing the dynamics of Trenton, is changing the mindset. So certainly, again, you're just a simple person doing some extraordinary things because there's a desire for better. And I was talking to somebody yesterday. Everybody can't move away. Everybody can't leave here. And if everybody leaves, then what do we have left here? We have to begin to work and bring about change. Last point we'll touch on before we get you out of here. There was some conversation we had before about the churches and the local pastors and their disconnect from the clear issues that are going on, whether you want to talk about the eroding school system and the disconnect between the parents, whether you want to talk about the clear, again, as Ms. Verlina just spoke about, the violence in our city. Clearly, we need to have pastors who oftentimes speak to, direct, and guide congregations, sometimes between 400 and 500 people every Sunday. So it's an institution that can actually shape minds that will mold the behavior that we see out in our community. What is your take on local pastors, their input, their outreach, their lack of, what is your take on that?
As I said on New Year's Eve, we have hundreds of churches in this city. I've reached out to several. Yep. Facebook, parishioners. I've called their personal assistants and such. But on New Year's Eve, we only had 2 turn out.
Wow.
It seems to me that you have more sinners than saints.
Okay.
And that's only leading by example, what I've seen come out and help. It seems also that, because it's debatable. They claim they have their camps and their after-school programs, fine. But you know that our city doesn't have an after-school program. Right. Reach out to more than just your community. Let us know that they're out there.
Right.
These pastors, you have people of all economic and racial environments, and right there, you're speaking to 200 to 300 people twice a day.
Right.
You may say something or give the information to one person that knows somebody that can actually do something to help us.
I agree.
In my church, Calvary Missionary Baptist Church, I've spoken to my pastor and he's given me the green light, and we've discussed this several times.
Right.
I think that I can use the kitchen and teach a young mother how to cook a meal.
Yeah, that's a powerful.
We can get clothes from the congregation, because when you're getting out of jail, being that I work for the Department of Corrections, they're not really going to go to the Salvation Army and get that suit.
Right.
But if you have old suits, and we can use donations to clean the suits and sit you down and do a mock interview, have barbershops like Razor Sharp, give haircuts, hair salons, do a young lady's hair. The pastors really need to speak to their congregations, and the pastors really need to come out and support. You can reach more people than I can.
Right.
And really, the people in the church are more judgmental than the people on the street.
That's real.
They don't have time to come out to a prayer visual, and you're the ones who should be praying.
Right.
You don't have time to speak to me. You're not responding to invitations. It's a simple prayer visual.
Right.
We all know the power of prayer, no matter who it is you pray to.
Okay.
And I am just asking for the pastors to give more involvement. We can use your church as grants. They know more about grants than I do.
Right.
They have more funds than I do.
Right.
Really, the pastors are looking to it for revenue themselves, for their own pockets. But if that's the position you're going to take, step up and play the part.
All right. So excellent points again. Give us some closing thoughts before we get you out of here on what you'd like to see being done in the city, and what actually you're working on now as a priority, and you need Trentonians to get off the sideline and help you with.
First, the 1,000 Parent March.
Okay.
I am trying to get that done by August. I know it's a late start.
All right.
I want to educate the parents on our school system and people that will eventually become parents. Don't wait until you have a child to be concerned about the Trenton public school system.
Ooh, good point.
Don't wait. Like, most of the schools are shut down. We're thinking about having I want to have a lighted up day.
Okay.
If your street lights are out, if the lights in the alleys are out, blow up City Hall's phone.
Okay.
Because these things are happening on the side of your house. Women being knocked in the head, raped, beaten, shot, and nobody sees anything. Oh, it was dark.
Right.
Turn your porch lights on.
Right.
You know, that information hopefully will be in the Trentonian eventually.
Okay.
If you know there's things on your street that needs to be taken care of, call City Hall. Just like the councilwoman said, they don't know everything.
Right.
We need more programs for the children, for young Black females, other than basketball and football and sports.
Okay.
Can we get these women together and have them talk to each other, other than arguing and fighting about another young boy who is really not even thinking about you? You know, I'm like, don't think that having his first child is going to hold on to this young man forever.
Right.
Really, you need to be about yourself.
Okay.
I can't live for you, and my points of views may not be yours.
Right.
But you want to be safe in our city, and we need to raise the next generation correctly.
Right.
Can we step up our game and do things together? If you know that the city isn't coming through cleaning up your street, clean up in front of your house.
That's right.
What the inside of your house looks like is your business, but give the better appearance for the city.
Right.
These kids are walking back and forth to school, playing in front of their house, and they're playing on glass.
Right.
I mean, just take the initiative a little bit yourself. Spend more money on your children. Take them outside and do something with them in the city. Take them to the park. We need to utilize our park a little bit more. It's not much in there, but utilize the park a little bit more.
Right.
Drinking and smoking and hanging on the front porch with your children, partying with your children. I'm just not for that.
Right.
I mean, I'm trying to watch my mouth here
because
I could really go in hard.
Put off. We're trying to do some good things.
But I'm looking for donations from the church, or maybe they can even just donate their vans.
Okay.
And donations from some of our city residents. Volunteer to buy a child ticket.
Okay.
And I'll take them to a Broadway play. I'll take them out to dinner so that they can use the proper utensils and don't have to be intimidated.
Okay.
Proper etiquette, and then therefore they're not embarrassed about certain things. They won't be afraid to do certain things. I find that children act out because they just don't know. And if your parents didn't know, then they can't teach you.
Right. Okay.
So mothers, fathers, educate yourselves.
Excellent point. Okay, we'll close out on that. I think one of the things I'd really like to see you get going, and I was talking, and I'm going to continue to talk to the mayor and the council about, is actually getting some of these schools, or maybe one of these churches, to work and deal with the developmental program for our young ladies, the cooking, the cultural aspect, the etiquette. Certainly young ladies have to learn from women the transition in that process that takes place. So I certainly want to keep working with that. If there's some contact information you want to give out so people can reach out to you and continue to work with you in the great work that you're doing.
My email address is WUZN as in Nancy, M as in Mary, E as in Edward, 2008@hotmail.com.
All right.
I'm on Facebook, Demetria Mason. And my cell phone number is 609-372-0044. Parents, if you're having problems with your children, I have no problem coming out speaking with your child.
Say the number again.
609-372-0044.
All right. All right. So any closing thoughts before we shut it down and get you out of here? Be nice.
Yeah,
be nice.
I'm trying to watch my mouth.
Please, we don't have any bleeping.
Social reinforcement.
Okay.
If you have any information that can help another parent, if you have any information that can help me, if you have any organizations you think maybe I should be a part of, or you want to get your organization started and get the information out there, I don't have a problem helping anybody. That's why I don't hold myself to one political group or social group or organization.
All right.
I do step up and help. I just don't talk about it. You might see me anywhere.
Okay. All right. We want to thank you for coming on, Lo. Get some rest today, and we'll see you on the next go-round.
All right.
All right. Have a great day today. All right. All right, I want to thank all of my guests for coming on today. Once again, it's Freedom on the Air, www.Trentonian.com. Please tune in and check us out every Monday morning from 8 to 9. Again, we're bringing on elected officials who will come on, who will take the opportunity to come on and get themselves known, who will get themselves out there, who want to be a part of the process, which is the equation of bringing revitalization back to Trenton. Just some closing thoughts. I want Trentonians to pay attention to what's going on in Hamilton Township. You had a mayor who's now in the midst and gist of a scandal, who's got himself on the hot seat, probably will be taken out of that seat by his own actions. I want Trentonians to watch and see how the process plays out. You won't see people on the sideline. You won't see people playing around. You won't see people pointing fingers and complaining, but they're going to get educated. They're going to get involved. They're going to get engaged. We need to do the same thing over here. When we sit around and don't elect qualified and competent people who are caring and committed to our concerns and our quality of life, then you get what we have, which is a clear disconnect between the citizens and the elected officials in all capacities. I'm talking all the way up from Senator Turner through the Assembly, through the county, to the county freeholders. Everyone has to play a part. I think another piece we need to pay attention to is presently the superintendent search that is going on. The next person who's going to sit in the seat to control our educational process, which has been failing for over 20 years. And I'm wondering when, at what point is we as citizens going to say, enough is enough. We're going to come to the meeting, one which we have tonight at the Board of Education, and start asking critical questions. How now are our children at this point in juncture sitting around and not having qualified teachers in front of them, not having up-to-date curriculum, not having schedules, not having themselves? We can't demand the best from them when we give them the poorest of tools and the quality of service that they should be getting, and then expect them to excel in life. The responsibility is on us. I think the last point I want to make is Trentonians need to get involved. You had the executive director for the TDA here. Get involved. If you're tired of going downtown and not having a place where you can sit down and have a good meal, where you can relax and go to good businesses, if you're tired of seeing the filth around your city, clean it up. If you're tired of seeing people disrupting and destroying communities, get involved. Play a part in the equation, which is rebuilding our city. I'm just trying to do my part, but each of you has to do your part, and we get involved, then our city gets better overnight. It's us doing what we do. You have a great day, Trentonians. Get out there and be prosperous, be productive, and whatever you do, don't complain, because we don't want to hear it. Just be a part of the solution. Have a great day.